In this podcast episode, physicist and inventor Federico Faggin shares his transformative journey from a materialist worldview to a profound exploration of consciousness and spirituality. Faggin delves into the nature of reality, the role of free will, the significance of emotions, and the interconnectedness of existence, while also addressing the implications of technology and the importance of personal responsibility in the awakening process. Initially, Faggin dedicated himself to understanding the physical universe, believing that happiness would follow if he adhered to the scientific method and achieved success. However, despite his accomplishments, he found himself unfulfilled and began to question the nature of consciousness and existence. He recounts a pivotal moment during a family ski trip in 1990 when he experienced a profound awakening. One night, he awoke to a powerful beam of energy emanating from his chest, which he described as an overwhelming sensation of love, joy, and peace. This experience shifted his understanding of himself from a separate entity to an integral part of a greater whole. He realized that consciousness is not merely a byproduct of physical processes, but a fundamental aspect of existence. This awakening led him to pursue the unification of physics and spirituality, seeking to understand how these realms intersect. Faggin explores the relationship between emotions and meaning, emphasizing that emotions are not merely feelings, but gateways to deeper understanding. He argues that the essence of emotions, such as love, transcends quantifiable measures and connects individuals to the fundamental nature of existence. Emotions carry meaning that can only be fully understood through direct experience, highlighting the limitations of language and symbols in conveying the richness of consciousness. Faggin critiques the materialist worldview, which asserts that only measurable phenomena exist. He argues that this perspective neglects the profound aspects of consciousness and the meaning derived from experiences. Quantum physics, he contends, supports the idea that consciousness is not separate from the observed reality, but is integral to it. The observer's role in quantum mechanics illustrates that consciousness influences reality, challenging the notion of a detached observer. Faggin discusses the concept of suffering as a pivotal aspect of human experience, suggesting that it serves as a catalyst for personal growth and spiritual awakening. He references a quote from Simone Weil, which posits that suffering can either lead to learning or result in a loss of self. Faggin emphasizes that through suffering, individuals can gain insights into their identities, beliefs, and the aspects of life that are not serving them. He believes that suffering creates the necessary friction for individuals to move towards self-realization and understanding. Faggin elaborates on the idea that human beings often identify too closely with their physical bodies, which he describes as a drone controlled by a conscious field. He argues that the body is not the essence of who we are. Rather, it is a vehicle for the consciousness that exists beyond physical form. This perspective aligns with the notion that upon death, consciousness continues to exist, transcending the limitations of the body. He likens the relationship between consciousness and the body to that of a drone operator, where the operator, consciousness, controls the drone, body, but is not defined by it. The discussion transitions to the concept of free will, which Faggin asserts is not an inherent property of the body, but rather a characteristic of the conscious field. He explains that when individuals act from a place of ego, they are often driven by unconscious impulses, limiting their true free will. True free will emerges when individuals recognize their consciousness and make choices that reflect their deeper understanding of self. He emphasizes that the journey toward awakening involves taking responsibility for one's actions and recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings. Faggin explores the nature of love, describing it as a fundamental force that drives individuals towards self-discovery and connection with others. He posits that love is intertwined with joy and peace, and that the pursuit of knowledge is inherently linked to the experience of love. This connection suggests that the more individuals understand themselves and their relationships with others, the more they can embody love in their actions. He believes that love is essential for personal growth and for fostering a sense of unity within the collective human experience. The conversation delves into the idea that reality is not merely a collection of separate entities, but rather a complex web of interconnectedness. Faggin argues that the traditional scientific view, which often separates phenomena into distinct categories, fails to capture the holistic nature of existence. He suggests that true understanding comes from recognizing the relationships between different aspects of reality, including the interplay between consciousness and the physical world. This perspective challenges reductionist views and encourages a more integrated approach to understanding existence. Faggin expresses concern about the trajectory of humanity, particularly in relation to technological advancements such as artificial intelligence. He warns that if humanity does not learn to value its interiority and interconnectedness, it risks becoming overly reliant on technology, potentially leading to a dystopian future. He emphasizes the importance of making conscious choices that prioritize cooperation over competition, suggesting that a shift in mindset is necessary for the survival and flourishing of humanity. Faggin highlights the need for individuals to prioritize their interior experiences and cultivate a deeper understanding of themselves. He believes that immersive experiences that foster a sense of interconnectedness can serve as a catalyst for personal and collective transformation. By recognizing their shared humanity, individuals can begin to break down the barriers that separate them and work toward a more harmonious existence. The discussion touches on the possibility of extraterrestrial life, with Faggin asserting that it would be naive to believe that humans are the only conscious beings in the universe. He suggests that consciousness is a fundamental aspect of existence that permeates all levels of reality. This perspective aligns with his view of a hierarchical structure of consciousness, where different levels of awareness exist across various forms of life. Faggin introduces the concept of service to self versus service to others as a fundamental dichotomy in human behavior. He argues that those who prioritize their own interests often create conflict and competition, while those who focus on serving others foster cooperation and growth. This distinction is crucial for understanding the dynamics of human relationships and the potential for collective evolution. Faggin emphasizes the importance of personal responsibility in the awakening process. He believes that individuals must confront their beliefs and motivations to truly understand themselves and their place in the world. By taking responsibility for their actions and recognizing the impact they have on others, individuals can begin to shift their consciousness and contribute to a more compassionate and interconnected society. As the conversation concludes, Faggin reflects on the potential future of humanity and consciousness. He expresses hope that as individuals awaken to their true nature, they will move beyond the limitations of materialism and reductionism. This shift in understanding could lead to a more profound appreciation of the interconnectedness of all life and the realization that love and consciousness are the driving forces behind existence.